Hello, one and all. Welcome to another episode of MMA Vision Analysis. This one, we're talking Ilia Topuria 2025. Specifically, does Ilia Topuria truly have a chance at capturing that lightweight title sometime 2025? We're going to talk about the possibility of this happening. Before getting started, make sure to like, subscribe, click that notification to get all it is that is new from this channel, your channel, the one and only MMA Vision Analysis. Ilia Topuria, I believe 2 wins propelled this guy's name to the highest of highs in the world of mixed martial arts. And not only that, this guy has the character that's now visible. It's on pure display. Myself included, I was not very familiar with Ilia Topuria. In all honesty, prior to Volkanovski, I'm not an expert. I don't pretend to be an expert. I'm a fan just like everybody else is. I just have my own colorful way of animating things and talking about things. I do digress a bit, but with Ilia Topuria, the guy, obviously him beating Volkanovski first and then defeating Ilia Topuria, Max Holloway the way that he did, in combination with his grandiose character, calculated, grandiose character, has quickly propelled this guy to the highest of highs in the world of mixed martial arts, and he's pretty much, I don't want to say cleaned up the division in the featherweight division. That's certainly not the case. There are many rising opponents, young, hungry, rising opponents, the likes of Diego Lopez in that featherweight division. But he definitely beat fighters, the likes of Volkanovski and Max Holloway, in ways that is really legendary, to say the least, looking back in retrospect. I mean, especially the Max Holloway win, the way that he prophesized it, basically. He said, I'm going to knock this guy out. He was not talking about a guy that's been knocked out before. Max Holloway is notorious for taking punishment, not quite like a Nate Diaz but he's never been knocked out before. And this guy knocks Max Holloway out. And, the fight before that, he knocks out Alexander Volkanovski. I do understand Volka was a bit compromised that fight, but still formerly known pound for pound best fighter on the planet, former featherweight champion. And, we have Ilia doing what he did to him that night. And, with these kind of performances, obviously, this guy's made himself into a megastar, arguably, probably, or most certainly has the potential of becoming the UFC's biggest star. He's certainly the youngest out of all the megastars in the current UFC roster. He's even younger than O'Malley, and I would argue that he's a much bigger star than O'Malley, especially in Europe, in Spain. I cannot wait for a Spain event that includes Ilia Topuria at the Santiago Bernabeu, something that he's talked about time and time again. The home of Real Madrid, the mega soccer club, the greatest soccer club in the world, Spain, Madrid. I cannot wait for it's a 90,000. That stadium holds 90,000 people. Magnificent piece of art the stadium is, and I cannot wait for Ilia Topuria to fight at the Santiago Bernabeu, something that he's talked about before. And perhaps this thing will happen regardless whether he's in the featherweight or in this situation. We're talking about the possibility of this guy going up to lightweight, and what a move that would be. Is this a feasible option? I mean, according to his coach, recently I read an article that said that his coach claims that the guy walks around like 187 or something to that extent, which is a lot of weight to drop to make 145, maybe 155 is the better, more strategic option, taking into consideration the landscape of 145. But if Ilia does go up to 145, obviously Islam, currently the champion, is not interested in a direct match with Ilia Topuria. They want him to get through a Charles Oliveira first. How does he do against Charles Oliveira? It's a very bad fight for Charles Oliveira. It's a very, very, very bad fight for Charles Oliveira. But obviously Charles is one of those fighters that will lose the fight for 5 rounds, and in the last minute of the last round, throw a submission from the ground and win the fight that way. So you can never really count the guy out. But I believe Ilia has pretty big chance of getting past Charles Oliveira. I think he beats Charles, in all honesty. If you were to run that fight 3 times, Ilia would win it twice. That's what I would say. And Charles would win one of those fights. But most certainly out of 3 fights, Charles Oliveira would end up taking the more punishment out of the 2. I mean, it's just clearly obvious. Ilia Topuria boxing abilities, this guy can venture out to go box like a Canelo Alvarez, and I would not be opposed to it. This guy is very good with his hands. He's he's just tough as nails. He's just a very tough fighter and phenomenal boxing skills, and good wrestling as well. He's just a very tough guy, and I say he gets past, with all respect to former lightweight champion Charles Oliveira, he gets past it, which this fight might happen perhaps first half of the year 2025. How does he do against Islam? How does Ilia do against Islam? I think it's a very close fight. We're just going to have to wait and see, in all honesty. If you made it this far, I appreciate it for sticking around. Please let me know what you think in the comments and like, subscribe for more.